What's up guys, we are here in a new video, and in this case what we are going to do is that we are going to create a magnificent bot. In this case we are going to create a bot based on the Bollinger bands. Very simple bot that we are going to create here, and let me guys explain you how is the strategy and what is it that we are going to exactly do. But before that, have I told you that the best course on the internet to learn how to create trading bots, it's here in komaku.es. Here guys, let me put this in English. Here guys, you have this amazing course where you can learn very cheap, because I want it to be accessible for everyone. And I recommend you that, hey, if you have problems understanding my videos or someone else's videos to learn how to create these trading bots, maybe you need something guided. So give that a go. Also, I want to tell you that in this battle that we have against the matrix, against the system to become rich, here I have this platform where I allow people to post their courses. So guys, if you, for example, know something and you have knowledge that you want to share, here you have the platform. You can create a course, and then, for example, this course can have a community, and you can handle that. You have notifications, you have everything, and literally you can upload videos, everything, you can check everything. You have here this tool that allows you to sell your knowledge, so take that into account. Having said that, let's create our bot. So here what we have is the Bollinger bands, and what we are going to do is that, look, this indicator has three things: the moving average, lower band, and the upper band. So check this case. This is the perfect case for a sell. So we have this big candle that closes below the lower band, but the candle opens above, and then the very next candle touches this lower band. So in this case, we are going to open a buy, and look, this bot is going to be a bit special, because what we are going to do is that we are going to close the operations based on a take profit, or if the price touches the moving average. Once it touches that moving average, we are going to close the operation, or based on a TP. And we are going to decide that by an input parameter. Okay guys, let's do this. So first of all, we are gonna press IDE, and look, we have here the previous bot, which by the way, you have here in GitHub. Here in GitHub, you have the bot, you can download it, you can use it, you have here the compiled version, and you have here as well the code, so you can use it for whatever you want. Okay, so what I'm going to do now here is that I'm going to create a new bot. Remember that I have here this folder that I changed the name, YT 2026 MQL5, press new, next, and I'm going to create here Bollinger, next, finish, and I'm going to delete everything because we are the best here. As I said in the previous video, guys, use the AIs. The problem is that some of you use the AIs, you don't know how to program, the AI makes one mistake, and that one small mistake breaks everything. So you have to take into account that, and if you know how to program, you are going to be able to solve those problems easily. So, okay, let's start. First of all, we just have one indicator, although this indicator has three things. But since we just have one indicator, we are just going to load one thing. So for example, let me put here Bollinger bands BB, H for the handle. Let me put here, so for example, we have here the upper band, and this is going to be an array where we are going to store the things, and we have here a lower band, and then we have here the moving average. These are going to be the arrays where the information is going to be stored, and here we have the handle that is going to handle the indicator. So having that, what I'm going to do now is initialize all this. Remember that the Bollinger, MQL5 is a language based on events. So what we are going to actually do is that on this event, which is the onInit, when the bot starts, we are going to initialize the indicator. So what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to put and check this out, B bands. So I bands refers to Bollinger bands, and we can use this function to get the handle of the indicator. So first of all, current symbol, then the current period. By the way, what is this current symbol, current period? Check this out. Look, right now we are in the graph of the EUR/USD. What is the current symbol? EUR/USD. What is the current period? It is H1, 1 hour. So basically the bot, if we put it to work here, those variables refer to where it's working and the time frame that it has. So if I change this to D1, 1 day, then the bot realizes that because that variable changes. So let's put here on H1 again and use that variable. Then we have the moving average value for the Bollinger Bands, and we are going to use here input group, and let me put Bollinger Bands. Just to let you know, guys, I've been uploading videos like this for ages, like 5 years, something like that, but in Spanish. Just to let you know, don't think that suddenly I'm creating these videos. I did as well in the past in English, but due to time I stopped a little bit, and now I'm back. I'm back, guys. So Bollinger Bands, and we have here the moving average. Let me put bands moving average. Well, let me put bands period, and let's put here 20. That's it. Shift, no shift. Deviation is going to be another parameter. So let me put here input int deviation, and this is going to be 2.0. These are the default values. So deviation cannot be used like this. We have to put here bands deviation. That's right. And here we are going to apply this to the close. Got it. So now that we have this, what we are going to do is check if everything is correct. So if, and sorry, not sorry, this is bands period. I'm not sorry for that. It was just a minor mistake. So if the handle is invalid, what we are going to actually do is check that. Well, we check that, and now we are going to say, hey man, this is not working fine. So what I'm going to put is error. The indicator was not loaded correctly. That's fine. And here I'm going to put return init failed. Now, one thing that I want to do is that, for example, let me go back to the paint. So let me open it. One thing is that, for example, let's say we have this, and this is the current value of an indicator. This is the previous value, whatever. We have here an array of values where we are going to store the information. What I want is that the first value of the array refers to the most recent. If we don't call the following function, which is array set a series, what is going to happen is that the most recent value refers to the last one in the array, and I don't want that. I don't want that. So what I'm going to do is upper band true, and I'm going to do this same thing for all the other arrays. So lower band, boom, moving average, boom. And check this out. For this strategy, we need to load the candles. So what we are actually going to do is that we are going to create here an array which has a special type, that is MQL rates. This is the type that stores all the information of the candles. So here I'm going to call this variable candles. It is going to be an array. And here I'm actually going to do the same thing for the candles, because I want to be the first candle in the array, the most recent one. Got it. So now that we've done this, what I'm going to do is return init succeeded. Got it. Now, what are we going to do here? Void on the init, and well, check this out here. This was automatic. I don't really want this automatic. So what I'm going to do is that I am going to deinitialize the indicator. So if the handle is not invalid, then let's deinitialize it. I am thinking about something quite cringe but funny that happened to me on the internet, and I will be showing that at the end of the video, but it's truly very funny, and it's crazy, man. People are crazy in this world. So yeah, at the end of the video I will show that. Okay, we are going to put now the logic of the bot, and check this out. Here we have the onTick, and what we are going to do is first load the data. So look, I'm going to put int, and let me just go here, int, can I zoom? No. Loaded upper, for the upper band. And check this out, I'm going to put here copy buffer, indicator handle, BBH, buffer number. Important. How do I know that, for example, this line, how do I load specifically this line? How do I load specifically this other line? Or how do I load specifically this other line? This is done here. So check this out. If I select this and press F1, I open the documentation and check that here I have this information. 0 refers for the baseline, 1 refers for the upper band, and 2 refers to the lower band. And this is in the buffer. The buffer number refers to this. So for example, if I want to be loading the upper band, let's check this out again. Here is 1 upper band. So I could be putting here a 1, but I could use as well this. So this is more clear and I can see it. Perfect. So I want to be loading the very last value, starting position 0, and count. I want to be counting 2 values. Got it? And I'm going to save this in the upper band array. Now, something very similar is going to happen for the lower, where here I'm going to put lower band, and in this case, it is going to be lower band as well. This is going to be the same for the moving average. So we are going to change that. Let me put here moving average, and here, baseline. I was thinking, which one was it? So here, what I'm going to do is that I'm gonna put the loaded here. Sorry, this is not sorry. I have to stop saying that. Loaded moving average and loaded. Let me put loaded candles. In this case, it is not copy buffer, it is copy rates. So we are going to copy the rates, symbol, current symbol, period, current period. We are going to load the very last candle, 2 candles, and we are going to save that in the candles array. Now that we have all this information, what I want to do is that, okay, if the loaded upper is less than 0, it means it failed because it returned a -1. Or, indeed, let me copy this, remove this last one. Or, for example, the loaded candles happens the same. Or, for example, the loaded moving average happens the same. Or, for example, the loaded lower happens the same. We are gonna be doing the following, which is that I'm gonna be printing, hey man, there's an error. The indicators were not loaded. Return. In this case, the onTick function returns, well, the type is void, so it doesn't return anything. That's why I leave this return empty. Check that here, that was not the case. I was returning something. In this case, this is, I think in Spanish, at least we call them macros. This is a macro in Spanish. And yeah, it is an integer value. So perfect. Now that we have this, it comes to the logic of the bot. The first part of this logic is going to be that I just want one operation at a time. And this is done like this. Positions total. If this function returns 0, it means that there's no position. So we can open operations. Here, what I'm going to do is that, okay, we need to check for the by cross. If the by cross happens, we are going to open a by. Else if the cell cross happens, we are going to open a cell. Let's put this here. And now, what is it that we are going to be doing? Okay, include trade MQH, see trade, perfect. So now that we have here this, what I'm gonna be doing is, well, this is to open the trades, but I need to create these functions, the crossing functions, the crossing conditions. Let's start with the by one. By cross, and look. So what is going to happen is the following. So we need to check for the following condition. Let me create a screenshot again, and let's make this big so that we see that better. What we are looking for is for the following thing. So what we want is, am I able to, let me just take this. What we want is this, that the open is up here, the line is here, and the close of this candle is here. But then, if this very next candle, that will be the actual one, touches the lower band, in this case, we are going to open a buy. So let's do that. That is quite simple. So first of all, the open of the previous one, candles one, open, has to be above the lower band. It's above the lower band, and let me put here, candles one, the close has to be below the lower band, and here I have to access a value, which is here. The close is below the lower band 1, and then the current value touches or is above candles 0, close is greater or equal than the lower band, and this means that it has touched the value. Got it. So what we are actually going to do here is that we are going to do the same thing for the sell cross. Pam. Okay, so now in this case the open has to be below. Let me see if I find a clear case for the sell. And yeah, this is a clear case. Let me take a screenshot so that we can analyze it. Analyze it properly. Okay, let me just move this a little bit. Perfect. So check this out. The open is below the value, then the close is above, and then this line is just either touching or below the upper band. So let's add that. In this case, the open is below not the lower band, the upper band. The close of the one before is above the upper band, and then the close is less or equal than the upper band. Got it, guys? We have it. We have the conditions now. We have to open positions, and look, we have to take values. So for example, double ask symbol, info double, current symbol, I want the ask, and remember, this may fail because if it returns a lot of decimals, it just breaks. It says, hey man, it is going to break, so I don't like this. Perfect. So now that we have this, let me put here bit. So what I'm doing is the following. So I'm normalizing the value by sending this digit. So what I'm saying is, hey, if the market uses 5 digits, just use those digits, no more. And in this case, it will never fail. Got it. So now that we have this here, what I'm going to be doing is the following. I'm going to be opening the trades. I have here the trade object, trade buy, and look, we are going to parameterize, to put parameters. Sometimes I speak in Spanish, but in English. So in Spanish, we say parametrizar, and it's not the same as parameterize, like add parameters, as if it was a verb. So input group, and let me put operations, and this is going to be input double lots. Let me put what did I did in the previous one? I just put it in indeed. Let me just copy and paste it because it is the same thing as the previous video. So I'm creating inputs for the lots, stop loss, and take profit. I have to add here some comments. So bands period, and let me put here bands deviation. Perfect. So now that we have here, let me just put here lots. Let me just put here symbol. The price is going to be the ask price. Stop loss is going to be ask minus stop loss by the value of a point. The take profit is just adding this. Perfect. And the comment, I'm going to put Bollinger bands EA, expert advisor. Perfect. So now that we have this, we just have to open cells here. Cell, and this is the same, but instead of using ask, we use bid, and we just put a plus in the stop loss, and here this is a mistake, this is take profit, and a minus in the take profit because the take profit is below. Got it, got it, got it. So if we compile, PAM! Not a single mistake. I am at another level, guys. Got it. So now that we have here, what we are going to do is going to test it. So let me just open here view. Let's open here strategy tester, single, and let's select the bot. So here I just go to IT 2026. Here I have Bollinger. I have here this market. Let me reduce the test. So let me put here 2025, and let me put here every tick based on real ticks. So let's start the test. I forgot the test. The test. Let me put here the visual mode. Here we have the inputs. We can modify them and all that, but we are gonna leave them as they are, and we can see how it works. Let's see if it works properly, and boom, for example, there it opened a buy. And if the problem with this strategy is that if we are in a tendency, it's not really good, because it is just going to open operations and it is going to fail, fail, and fail. In this case, let me zoom a bit. In this case, the operation was successful. It happened what we were expecting, and boom. But in this other case, for example, it wasn't. So guys, I am a man of word, I am a man of honor, and I told you that I was going to create the bot so that also if it touches the moving average, we ignore the take profit. So guys, let's actually do that. That is quite simple. You can see that now the operations have a take profit, but we don't want that. We wanna be changing that. So how do we actually do this? Quite simple, guys, quite simple. So we come here and check this out. I'm gonna create a new group, and let me put operative. In Spanish it's like operativa, operative. type of operation, something like that. So I'm going to create an enumeration, and here I'm gonna put close type, perfect. And check this out, I'm gonna put here close by TP, perfect. And I'm just gonna put here close by TP or close by average. Here I'm gonna put a comment which is close by moving average. Got it? So now that we have this enumeration, what I'm going to do is that I'm gonna create an input that has as a type that enumeration, and look, close type, and I'm just gonna call it the same but without capital letters, close type. And here the default value is going to be close by TP, but now let's put another comment which is type close type. We're gonna use the same thing, close type, that's it. So now that we have this here, look, it is a very simple change. We just need to be doing the following. Let me just move this so that we can see the code more clear. Okay, we move this a bit back. One sec, this a bit back as well, yeah. So for example, if the close type is equal to close by average, then we don't need a take profit. We just put here 0 and we won't have a take profit. Got it? The same thing, guys, goes for the sell. So here, let me see if I'm able to move this properly. So here, if I do this, we are gonna be doing the exact same thing. So I could take this, boom. Let me take all this, put it here, and that's it. Now the operations won't have a TP, but we are not closing the operations based on the moving average. To do that, what we are going to do is that, look, we have here this condition, and it goes inside here if there's a position open. If there's not a position open, if there's a position open, else we are going to put here all the different conditions. So first of all, I need the type of the operation. How do I get that? I'm going to create a variable of type enum position type. Perfect. And I'm gonna call it type. Now I'm gonna call position type, no, position get integer, and here this is position type. So this is going to return me the type of the position. I need a cast for this because this returns a long value and this is an enumeration. So I just put here this and that's it. So look what we are going to do. I'm gonna put here an if, and if the type of the operation is position type by, if we have a by, we just need to check if the price is above the moving average or if it has touched it. And how do we check that? If, let's put here, sometimes I speak Spanish. This is candles, 0, and let me put here close. If this is bigger or, if this is bigger or equal than the moving average 0, then we close. So here, this is one case, but we need to check the other case. If we are in a sell, so position type sell, candles, 0, close, moving average, and this is 0. Got it, we have the conditions, now it's time to close the operation. How do we close? We can use the trade object, and look, position close. But it is asking us for the ticket. How do we get this ticket? Look, this ticket is ulong, and here we just need to use, this is ticket, and here, look, position get ticket. Check that the parameter is uint position index. Look, the position index refers to when you have several positions open and you just need to select one. In this case, we just have one position open. So if we take the first one, the 0 one, we'll always be taking the correct one. So we do this, and then now we have the ticket, and check this out. We send the ticket and boom, we are closing the position by the moving average. Here as well, I have to do something else if, and I have to check that the close type is equal to close by average. If the close is not by that type, I should stop. I should allow it to be closed by the TP. Got it. So now that we have this, what I'm going to actually do is that, okay, we compile, no errors by the way, it happens. And what we are going to do is that we are going to test it. So if we go here to the operative parameters, we can change this. And look, now our bot is more intelligent, more powerful. And we can see now if that is correct. So check this out. First of all, we have here this stop loss, but we don't have a TP. We don't have a take profit. So that is a good signal. Now, if it touches the moving average, it will be closed. It did not. This operation was a failed operation, but look, boom, check this out. In this case, it did close the operation as it should have. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So yeah, guys, it is as simple as that. That's how we create this bot. I hope you enjoyed this video. You understood how to create this trading bot. Check that out. That one was really nice. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and we see each other in the next